Today at Manchester Theatres, we are here with Robin Hawkes, who is the theatre director for the Palace Theatre and Opera House in Manchester. Now, Robin has been here for almost 2 years and previously was at the Leeds Playhouse, where you were for just over 6 years.
That's right.
As joint chief executive and executive director.
Very good.
Also at the National Theatre, and even did a stint as an English teacher in Japan. But we are very, very pleased that you decided your heart was in theatre and came back to join us here, where you have done amazing things since you have been here, as well as seeing us through opening up after a pandemic. So thank you for joining us at the Palace Theatre today. We really appreciate your time.
Oh, sure, not at all.
Yes,
Nice to chat.
we're going to look at a fantastic year across 2023, but also have a little sneak peek look forward as well. But before we do any of that, can you kind of tell us what your role is here as theatre director? What it is that you do?
Sure. So yes, my role works across the Palace Theatre and the Opera House, like most people in the team. And as theatre director, really I'm responsible for overseeing the operation, making sure that we've got a strategy and business plan, looking over the budget, and looking after the wonderful team that I have to support me here too.
Yes, it sounds exciting. And so moving on to the Palace Theatre, because looking back at a year is like, there's been so much, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I thought if we started with the Palace, we can kind of look at a bit of a top and tail, because we started 2023 in the middle of this epic giant, the Lion King.
Yeah.
And you're like, nothing's ever going to come and beat a run like that. And then we find ourselves in the middle of Hamilton.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just been, how do you kind of like manage to do that and get these two massive shows like this?
Well, it is great to have those big, spectacular shows come and sit down in the Palace and have a kind of mini residency here for a period of time. And we're really fortunate that lots of theatre producers see the Palace as the first theatre that they put on their tour list. You know, it's a bit like a football coach writing out his team sheet. The Palace is often the first to get on the list. And in the case of the Lion King, actually, you might know that was a show that was originally scheduled to have happened sooner and then was put off a couple of times by the pandemic. And yes, Cameron Mackintosh decided that the Palace was the place he wanted to open the new tour of Hamilton in 2023. So it's really exciting to have these two big shows, as you say, in quick succession in the programme here.
Yeah, and then in the middle of all of this, you've got Tony Award-winning directors bringing Bartlett Sher, bringing, you know, My Fair Lady and The King and I, with Broadway royalty. You've got like Darren Lee and Leslie Garrett and Michael D. Xavier.
Yeah.
All of these people. I mean, personally for me, it was like bucket list tick, bucket list tick. I mean, what's it like for you to be able to bring that wealth of talent here?
It's just great, you know, and the number of shows and individuals that you've just described, I think really good representation of how our programme here can appeal to quite a wide, diverse range of audiences too, from, you know, plays to musicals to family shows. But I think the thing that is in common amongst them is that they are the top quality, most popular, most exciting shows that you can see in the country, really.
They really, really are. And as well as that, we've had obviously the whole thing with The Bodyguard, which firstly I want to say that we need to talk about the show itself over anything else, because I mean, you've got the likes of Melanie Thornton coming, and it was an epic production, wasn't it?
It is a great
good.
night out, yeah.
It was so good. And everything that happened, what I want to say is, firstly, it's happening everywhere. It's not isolated here. It's something that's going on everywhere. But the main thing that I want to say is, from the outside looking in, the way that the Palace Theatre staff handled it and was with dignity and respect. So I want to say thank you to all of you guys, because it was incredible the way that you dealt with it all.
Oh, well, thank you, Karen. That's really nice to say. I mean, I think the thing that's important for me is that it's just a real minority of individual isolated incidents, and for whatever reason they catch the news, and I can understand why that's the case, because it's probably not what you expect in a theatre session, but like you say, I think it's happening up and down the country, and not just in theatres but in other environments too, retail, down the football, whatever else. So yeah, it's a real shame when it happens, but I don't think it should get in the way of the experience of everybody else coming to enjoy their show. I think that's the key thing. And yes, I mean, I'm so proud of the staff team here, who much as we wish it didn't happen, are really well trained and have the experience to deal with those kind of incidents when they do arise and minimise the impact of them too.
Definitely. Is there anything else at the Palace that you've thought, yeah, I can't believe that happened, that you've been really proud of, maybe on a personal level or a professional level?
Oh, well, do you know, we just had English National Ballet here just before Hamilton opened with an amazing high quality production of Giselle. And again, I think that's just a really good indicator of how you can go from genre to genre to genre in the ballet programme, but every time it really is a superstar production.
And you can say the same for the Opera House as well, because, I mean, I was trying to look and remember, and I was like, oh my goodness, I mean, you've had jukebox musicals ranging from Mamma Mia to Rock of Ages, then like cartoony ones from Shrek to SpongeBob, films from Annie to The Commitments, and plays, Lemons. There's been so much newer musicals, The Drifter's Girl to I Should Be So Lucky, which we'll come to that in a bit. But I mean, there's just, like you say, such a variety. And at the Opera House, I have no idea how you and your team keep up and catch your breath, because there is so much on offer, right?
Yeah, it is sometimes only when you stop and look back, you realise, oh my goodness, look what has happened in the last month or 6 months or whatever else. But you know, so we've made it for a really exciting environment to work in, where every week there's something new to look forward to, and that's the same for the staff team as well as for audiences, hopefully. And that means, we've got some very dedicated audience members who do come very regularly to the theatre as well, and you might be, and that means it keeps people coming back and back and back, doesn't it?
It really does. And then we've said we have to mention I Should Be So Lucky. I mean, not only was it a world premiere here at the Opera House, but it was an ACG production as well, wasn't
that's
it?
right.
Yeah,
so it was really nice to work with colleagues within the organisation to for quite a while in advance, been working together to kind of shepherd that show towards the stage. And the thing that's really exciting about these brand new shows is that actually, you can read the script, or you can go to see the development workshop until you actually sit there on the first night and watch the show. You don't quite know what it's really going to be like. And this this one that really blows you away. When you start with that music, you can't really go wrong, can you, in terms of the appeal to people who have loved those songs for a number of years. But I think the way that the show was put together really suited the soundtrack they had for that show. And to have that show first in not just in Manchester, but not first in the UK, first in the world here on our stage, it makes for that night to be an even more exciting
it was so special. It was so special. And what I want to say to the ATG people, whoever it may be, and I'm going to be really cheesy now, but I can't help it. So in my imagination, there is no hesitation that there is room for an I Should Be So Lucky too, because there are so many more songs that we could get out of this.
Yeah, you are right. I mean, the catalogue of Stockacre Waterman just goes on and on and on. Yeah. And actually, I know that the creative team, the producers, they had to think really carefully about which songs to include and which not to, and they had to let some go that they would ideally have wanted in the show, just because there is only 2 hours in the evening to squeeze in. So I shall suggest them I Should Be So Lucky too.
Yes, I think you should. And so other shows that have top and tailed at the Opera House have been, of course, Rocky Horror. It was here early 23. It's coming back early 24. It just keeps coming back. What is it? And it's always a sellout. What is it about that show?
Well, I think that show creates a unique experience, doesn't it? It's more than just sitting and watching. You're kind of, as an audience member, you're in the right way invited to be involved in the night. And so many people come dressed up and to kind of come with their friends and make an evening of it. That I think it's one of those shows where you can come back to it again and again and again and enjoy that experience. So we're really looking forward to having it back again in 2024.
Yeah, so am I. And then another top and tail is, of course, the Panto, a huge Christmas tradition. I mean, I've been coming for years. I bring my drama students, and we've obviously 2 years on the run. We've had the bromance of Ben Nicholas and Jason Manford. What are the chances of 2024, do you think?
Well, I am keeping my fingers crossed at the moment. They're great together, aren't they? And two kind of local heroes, Manchester guys. It's great to see them on the stage together. And I think this year the chemistry's stronger still, and they've got a great cast around them too. So it is brilliant to come I've come with my own kids to see the Panto both years, and it's fun for them as well to recognise the same actors but performing very different roles. So Jason going from being the villain last year to the hero this year as well. That just adds to the fun and the energy, I think. Probably.
Yeah, definitely. And so coming up then, 2024, because you've announced it's Cinderella next year,
yes,
the Panto.
Yeah.
But there is so much coming up. I mean, you've got, I'm even trying to remember it now, you've got operas, ballets, you've got Sir Ian McKellen coming, Mischief Theatre, and Juliet, Dear Evan Hansen, Pretty Woman, Wicked, 101 Dalmatians, Disney's Aladdin. It's just Pretty Woman. It goes on and on. Are you trying to bankrupt me?
Well, that's the secret strategy. Yeah, no. I mean, I think there is just as much to look forward to next year as this amazing year that we've just finished. And I mean, I'm really looking forward to Pretty Woman, another brand new musical coming to Manchester for the very first time. I'm really looking forward to Disney coming back off the back of that amazing run of The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast not long before that as well. Having them back and again for a long run through next summer will be really exciting. We've got Burlesque, the musical, coming in the summer to the Opera House as well, which will be another world premiere. Manchester gets its first show. And we've been kind of overwhelmed by the response since putting that on sale. It's sold a huge proportion of their tickets already. So, and as you say, people who are really good at planning ahead, if they've got the ability to do that, then we're booking for Book of Mormon in the autumn and Wicked for next Christmas, as you say, as well. So not only can you come and enjoy your Christmas show for this year, but you can be booking your tickets already for next year too.
Doing it. That's what I'm doing when I get home. There's so much going on, and as well as all the theatre shows, you have this brilliant creative learning team as well, where you've done big Disney Lion King educational days. You've got outreach programs, you've got the backstage tours, and it's really, really kind of putting these theatres that have got so much history back into the heart of the community as well, isn't it?
That's right. And that creative learning programme is a new one. It's been running for about a year now, and you're absolutely right that the reason for us doing that is to make sure we're really embedded in the city and connected to everybody around us in the city as well. And I think there's a risk that with big theatres like this, they come alive at 6:30 in the evening, and an amazing place for people to visit at night, but in a way it's a bit of a waste if they're just shuttered during the day, because we've got these prime locations right in the city centre. So there's both the opportunity to kind of use the buildings in the daytime in different ways, as you say, for tours, for workshops, for bringing young people in, but also to give different people, particularly young people, but not only young people, there's creative learning programmes aimed at all ages, a different insight into what the theatres are about. And yes, they may love the shows on the stage, but maybe they don't know that much about their amazing history of what has been happening in these buildings over the course of more than a century in both cases. Or maybe they want a chance to be creative themselves and try out a workshop, as well as come and see the amazing performances and creativity of the professional actors in the evening too.
There is so much going on. It has been a brilliant 2023, and there's so much to look forward to in 24. It's like you've gone to the West End with a shopping trolley and gone, I'll have one of them, I'll have one of them, and you're bringing it all and you're making regional theatre just as good as anything else anywhere. So thank you for your part in that, and from everyone at Manchester Theatres, a really, really happy Christmas and a sparkling new year.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you.
Fee, fi, fo, home. Don't miss the Giant Ever Panto coming to Manchester Opera House this Christmas. Starring me, Jason Manford, Ben Nicholas and Myra Dubois. Jack and the Beanstalk at Manchester Opera House.